You guys know I'm always looking for another grappling savior coming into the UFC because for me there's just never enough scrapping, snapping and tapping in the UFC. But this last weekend, REI TSURUYA from Japan, who won the road to the UFC contract, made his debut on the prelims of UFC 303, taking on Carlos Hernandez. TSURUYA trains out of the legendary Para-Estra gym in Japan under the great Yuki Nakai, who you might remember for getting thumbed in the eye at Vale Tudo Japan. And he's a nasty one. He loves the 10th planet stuff, some cranky twisters, all kinds of magic, and we're gonna have a look at all of it now. Super chilled, looks like he's waiting for a bus, not about to punch a man in the face, and straight away gets underneath for the double leg. Beautiful finish on that. Carlos Hernandez actually did some great grappling. REI TSURUYA comes up on the single, runs the pipe, and it's in the scramble, gives up his back, and while attempting a Kimura, gets suplexed on his head. Lovely stuff, but like Kazushi Sakuraba before him, he keeps that Kimura and uses it to start a scramble. Ends up on a double trouble knee bar situation. He's got both of Hernandez's legs, but can't quite get the angle right, so he switches off to the heel hook attempt. Hernandez rolls out of it and gets the knee line free, and then they separate. Because he's in southpaw, TSURUYA is really good at off of the hook or the jab, shooting underneath for singles and doubles and high crotches. Carlos's takedown defense was good though, until TSURUYA hit this beautiful lateral drop off the cage. I'm sure some wrestling fans are gonna call me out and say that it's something else, but to me, that's a lat drop all day. And even Carlos is like, damn, that was good. TSURUYA gets himself into top side control. Carlos uses the octopus or Craig Jones' reach around guard to get his legs back underneath and hit a deep half sweep right at the end, which nearly puts him in a sort of top reverse triangle, and this is where it gets fun. TSURUYA starts putting himself in quarter guard so that he can hit the samurai roll and start looking for the truck, which he does here because he is hunting that twister, and Eddie Bravo would be very proud. Right at the end of the round, Hernandez counters the twister by hitting this sort of Peterson roll arm trap thing, but because the leg connection is still there, TSURUYA is gonna stay in the truck. That is how the round ends, but that kind of happens again throughout the fight, so you gotta keep an eye on it. He's hunting for that twister. I blinked watching this live and I thought he hit a berimbolo in the UFC, which I would have gone insane for. Start of the second round, again, he's hitting these beautiful little entries on takedowns, but Hernandez's sprawl is very good. So he switches off to a fireman's carry and finishes it with a double. So fun. Hernandez hits 100%, which is one of those 10th planet fun things. It's just kind of like a head and arm trap. Doesn't last very long. TSURUYA manages to stay on top, but these scrambles were happening at such a rapid pace. TSURUYA ends up in top crucifix, pulls it all the way down, and actually gets a lockdown on Hernandez's other arm and starts elbowing him in the head. That is the correct facial response to being in this situation. Hernandez scrambles back to turtle, but TSURUYA does a really good job of maintaining the body lock. He hits these beautiful wedges with his legs to pass the guard. He could have taken the back a million times in this fight, but he prefers to try and get that single hook and go for the truck. As you can see here, he's got the lockdown on that one side and he's hunting for that twister again. And again, Hernandez traps the arm and goes for that Peterson roll, but he just ends up back in the truck, so we can hit the samurai roll once more from that, putting himself in that quarter mount and back into the truck. Just trying to dig that grip underneath to get the twister, and he finally gets it here, but Hernandez manages to separate the legs, so TSURUYA has to bail and keep top side control. Hernandez gets back out to open guard, hits the push off and the wrestle up, and ends up in a good old-fashioned American cradle. TSURUYA has wrestling experience. Even though he's a jiu-jitsu guy, he does have wrestling experience, and you can tell watching him go. Hernandez strips out, goes for that deep half, and manages again to nearly give up a reverse triangle and gets some lovely elbows in the face to end round 2. Now, start of the third round, is this a cheeky fake glove touch into the takedown attempt? Not sure. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Hernandez still manages to get the sprawl, but again, TSURUYA goes for that big lateral drop. Hernandez sees it coming, shifts his weight, so they just kind of face plant on the floor. This actually cut Hernandez pretty badly on his brow as well, as you can see from all the blood. TSURUYA gets back to an underhook and a half guard and does manage to wrestle up, even though Hernandez has really good takedown defense. This TSURUYA lad must be strong as hell to get out of that. The round is winding down now, up against the cage. TSURUYA goes for an Ippon Seoinage. Can't really tell because the camera is way too close, but that's definitely a Seoinage attempt. Ends up getting his back taken momentarily, but Hernandez was too high up, didn't get any hooks in, so TSURUYA slips out again. And this was really cool. The seconds are ticking away. He's got his back to defense. He goes for a Uchimata and then goes for a Seoinage and manages to actually turn it. Doesn't get the takedown, but manages to turn it back against the cage. And this is how the fight ended. Hernandez going for another takedown. TSURUYA using the Kimura to trap. And as he walks away, you can tell, probably lost that last round. He was kind of upset with himself. But honestly, the first 2 rounds were just so exciting. Hernandez is no slouch. His defensive grappling was incredible, but Tsuruya takes his first victory in the UFC, and I genuinely think for us jiu-jitsu people, he's going to be fun, he's dynamic, he tries the kind of things you don't usually see nowadays in modern MMA. I really do think he's going to have some success and just be fun to watch. Just keep an eye out for REI TSURUYA, guys. Thank you for watching. This is just a little short one. I appreciate all the views on the CJI video that went up last month. If you haven't caught it, make sure you do before the tournament starts. Thank you as always to X Marshall for sponsoring this video. These guys creating some really cool gear, jiu-jitsu, rash guards, shorts, all the gear you need. And if you use the link in the description, you can get yourself a pretty hefty discount on some really neat gear. So make sure you do use that link if you're going to buy some stuff, because you're going to get a decent discount and also send a little bit of dosh to the channel, which I really appreciate. I'm also going to have a link in the description for you to go and check out Jiu-Jitsu, which is an online digital jiu-jitsu instructional hub with some really good stuff, guys. Honestly, the John Calistine K-Guard stuff I'm working through right now, it's some of my favorite instructional content. I definitely recommend checking out Jiu-Jitsu. Make sure you like and subscribe, and if you're feeling lovely, you can even join as a member to support us that way. Let me know in the comments what you guys want to see next, and yeah, get excited. ADCC, CJI, soon.